guys, welcome to Unfiltered with Laura. I'm Laura. Today I'd like to talk to you about the one time that I thought I was being initiated into the Illuminati. A while ago, my best friend, who I'm going to change her name for the purposes of the story, but if y'all know who my best friend, y'all know who I'm talking about, met these two guys at a party in the Hollywood Hills. It was this big mansion, and apparently these two guys came up to her, started buying her drinks, telling her how beautiful she is. She was telling them about herself, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. We really want to represent you. And she came home and she was telling me this, and I was like, okay, what else? So you got managers now? She's like, yeah, I got managers, and she was super excited, but like, they were sounding a little sketchy, and I was like, see, Naida, like, I don't trust these guys. Like, I don't know who they think they are, who they represent. Like, you literally don't know anything about them. You're just jumping on board, así como si nada. Like, you need to be careful. You can't be trusting just nobody. Until they were like, we want to represent Laura too. And I was like, what? That's what's up. Absolutely, yes, I accept. And so I get to their house and they give me champagne and we're just celebrating and we're just talking about wonderful things about how they're gonna represent us, how they're gonna take the Chonga girls to a whole nother level. We're gonna make movies, we're gonna make series. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. And so all of a sudden I get a little hungry and I'm like, hey, do you guys have like anything to munch on and stuff? And they were like, oh yeah, check in the fridge. So I check in the fridge and I don't see anything I like. And being the ratchet that I am, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check the cupboards. They didn't tell me I could, but I will because they're my managers now. That's what you do when you got a manager. You do what you want at their house. So I go into the cupboards, I find some popcorn, I find some snacks, and I'm just like, yeah, this is what it's about. Champagne, popcorn, snacks, woo! And so I offer it to people and they're like, oh no, we don't want any. And I'm like, okay, more for me, shit, I ate the whole popcorn. At one point, I'm like, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. And I go to the bathroom and it hits me. My body feels weird. And I start getting really, really anxious. And I didn't know why. I'm like, why do I feel so anxious? And I felt really, really scared. And I thought I was drunk, but I know what being drunk feels like, and this was not it. And so I got really, really scared because I was in a house with these men that I did not know. I didn't know who they worked with. I didn't know anything about them. And they were giving me champagne. I never saw them pouring it themselves. I didn't know what was happening, and I got very, very scared. So I call Mimi over. Sinaida. And so I call Sinaida over because I'm like, what if they put something in her drink too? I need to tell her right now. And so she comes over and I was like, hey, how you feeling, girl? How you doing? Because I don't feel very good. She's like, oh, I'm doing fine. And I realized that they're trying to initiate me into the Illuminati. And the reason they didn't spike Mimi's drink is because she's already in it. And so my mind starts going into a really dark place and I don't trust Sinaida anymore. And I was like, hey, listen, I need to go home, because I think something terrible is happening. She's like, but tell me. And I was like, I can't tell you right now because there might be cameras in here. We need to get the hell out of here. And she's like, Laura, just please calm down. And I'm like, please don't tell me to calm down. And so I go outside and I'm like, hey guys, I need to go. I don't feel very good. And everyone's like, are you sure? Are you okay? Why didn't you stay and sit? Like, why don't you calm down? And I knew that's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to stay. And I was like, no, I don't have time to be sacrificed today to the Illuminati. I got my mom waiting for me at home. And I go downstairs and Sinaida follows me. And when we're in the car, I'm just freaking out. And I'm like, Sinaida, someone spiked my drink. I know there's something wrong with me and I don't know what it is. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're just drunk. You're just being dramática. And then she gets a call from the guys and they're like, hey, did she eat the popcorn? And I was like, yes, I ate the popcorn. What does that have to do with anything? And they're like, oh yeah, because that popcorn was actually edibles. There was marijuana in them. And I was like, why would they have marijuana in popcorn? That doesn't make sense. And the guy was like, well, because it was a gift that they had given out at Snoop Dogg's movie premiere and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm high. And I start freaking out more. And they're like, how much did she eat of it? And I was like, I ate the whole thing. So I go back upstairs and I felt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I am so sorry that I thought you guys were trying to initiate me into the Illuminati. And they were not laughing. They were like, you thought we spiked your drink? And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is how I think. I'm a little crazy. Like, when I was high for the next 3 days, and then Mimi told me that they did not want to work with us anymore. But Sinaida told us that they did not want to work with us anymore, and so we don't have managers anymore, thanks to that little episode. Have you guys ever been accidentally high on edibles? Let me know in the comments, because I will definitely read them. Thank you so much for watching.